Hey you, yeah, you, the one reading this right now. This isn't one of those feel-good scroll-past messages you forget in 5 seconds. This is a holy interruption. God is literally speaking to you in this exact moment. Not yesterday, not tomorrow, right now. And what he's saying is serious. He's offering you a sacred contract, a divine agreement handpicked for your life, one that will unlock levels of blessing and abundance you've never even imagined. You weren't meant to just hear this. You were chosen to respond. This isn't just a cool opportunity or some passing chance. It's a divine appointment, a moment in time that won't ever repeat itself. And if you let it slip away, it's gone, forever. God is saying, I want you wealthy. I've already made the preparations. Everything is ready, but you need to say yes. That hesitation you're feeling, that voice whispering, maybe later, that's the thief. That's delay disguising itself as logic. And delay isn't neutral. It's denial in disguise. This door won't stay open forever. Right now, everything around you is shifting. The air is different. You can feel it. The universe is moving. And this sacred moment, it's here. But it's moving with or without you. You can either step in or step aside. This isn't just about your bank account. It's about your breakthrough. It's a spiritual upgrade, a financial awakening, and a divine invitation to leave behind the wilderness of struggle and walk into a promised land of overflow. But it only begins with one word: yes. You've cried for this, prayed for it, dreamed about it when you didn't even have the strength to hope. And now it's here. Everything you've been begging heaven for is standing right in front of you, waiting for your answer. But heaven won't force your hand. God honors free will. He won't drag you into your blessing. He's inviting you to walk in with authority. So pause whatever you're doing, stop overthinking it, and do these 3 simple things. They matter more than you know. First, hit that like button. Yeah, it sounds simple, but it's your first act of agreement. Second, subscribe, because this message is part of a bigger movement, and you're not the only one God is calling. Third, drop the number 99 in the comments. That number isn't random. It's a sacred signal, a heavenly code. When you write it, it's like you're saying, I'm ready. It tells the heavens to move, to release, to respond. Don't scroll past. God is speaking. The real question is, are you listening? What's coming next isn't just a little bump in your finances. It's a full-blown divine overhaul. God is hitting reset on your life. He's rearranging your mindset, your habits, your income, your connections, everything. This isn't just about money, it's about movement. He's not just filling your pockets, he's rebuilding your foundation. You're not being rescued, you're being repositioned. From survival mode to stewardship. From being the borrower to becoming the lender. From just getting by to walking in overflow with purpose. You've survived seasons where scarcity was your reality, not your choice. You've become an expert in stretching pennies, faking strength, and hiding your inner storms with practiced smiles. You've learned how to breathe underwater, to carry burdens no one else could see. But that season has been declared finished. God is rewriting the script. Poverty isn't your portion. Scarcity isn't your identity. The days of lack have been evicted from your life. You've been issued a spiritual license for wealth, and heaven has stamped it with full approval. When God closes a chapter, He doesn't just put it on pause, He tears it out completely. That curse of never enough, the one that followed your family for generations, is being broken now. What held your parents back won't hold you. What haunted your lineage stops here. This isn't just about changing your financial status. It's about shifting your entire bloodline. You weren't born to struggle. You were born to steward abundance. What you're stepping into isn't just for you. It's for your legacy. Those doors that slam shut because you didn't have the funds, watch them open now. Not because of your bank balance, but because of God's favor. He's giving you access to things you couldn't buy, qualify for, or even imagine. You're stepping into a realm where your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered. You're not in survival anymore. You're walking in sovereign supply. And no, that doesn't mean you'll be reckless. It means you'll be relentless. Every time it looks like you're about to run out, heaven will step in and refill. So let me ask you, what if your bank account isn't just about transactions anymore? What if it's about testimony? What if it's about to become a witness of God's kindness, His generosity, His glory? Because what's coming to you won't make sense on paper. It will make waves in the spirit. You're not getting this because you earned it. You're getting it because why? You've been entrusted. That obedience you gave when it hurt, it opened a portal. And now, heaven is about to fund your future. What's coming next isn't just a little bump in your finances. It's a full-blown divine overhaul. God is hitting reset on your life. He's rearranging your mindset, your habits, your income, your connections, everything. This isn't just about money. It's about movement. He's not just filling your pockets. He's rebuilding your foundation. You're not being rescued. You're being repositioned from survival mode to stewardship, from being the borrower to becoming the lender, from just getting by to walking in overflow with purpose. You've survived seasons where scarcity was your reality, not your choice. You've become an expert in stretching pennies, faking strength, and hiding your inner storms with practiced smiles. You've learned how to breathe underwater, to carry burdens no one else could see. But that season has been declared finished. God is rewriting the script. Poverty isn't your portion. Scarcity isn't your identity. The days of lack have been evicted from your life. You've been issued a spiritual license for wealth, and heaven has stamped it with full approval. When God closes a chapter, He doesn't just put it on pause, He tears it out completely. That curse of never enough, the one that followed your family for generations, is being broken now. What held your parents back won't hold you. What haunted your lineage stops here. This isn't just about changing your financial status. It's about shifting your entire bloodline. You weren't born to struggle. You were born to steward abundance. What you're stepping into isn't just for you. It's for your legacy. Those doors that slammed shut because you didn't have the funds. Watch them open now. Not because of your bank balance, but because of God's favor. He's giving you access to things you couldn't buy, qualify for, or even imagine. You're stepping into a realm where your name is being spoken in rooms you've never entered. You're not in survival anymore. You're walking in sovereign supply. And no, that doesn't mean you'll be reckless. It means you'll be relentless. Every time it looks like you're about to run out, heaven will step in and refill. So let me ask you, what if your bank account isn't just about transactions anymore? What if it's about testimony? What if it's about to become a witness of God's kindness, His generosity, His glory? Because what's coming to you won't make sense on paper. It will make waves in the spirit. You're not getting this because you earned it. You're getting it because you've been entrusted. That obedience you gave when it hurt, it opened a portal. And now, heaven is about to fund your future. What's heading your way isn't the kind of blessing you can explain with a spreadsheet. This is supernatural. It's not luck. It's not hustle. It's divine intervention pouring itself out through unexpected checks, quiet miracles, surprise settlements, anonymous generosity, and business breakthroughs you didn't even apply for. Not because you twisted someone's arm or played the game better, but because heaven voted in your favor. God mandated it. You showed up with obedience, and He showed up with provision. The result? A floodgate of favor that can't be reasoned with. Imagine that. The very bank statements that used to make your chest tighten will now make your hands rise in worship. Not out of fear, but out of awe. Every number on that screen will echo a different kind of message. Not debt, not deficiency, but declaration. A holy echo saying, God sees me, God chose me, God funds me. Money won't own you anymore. It won't be your source of stress or your silent dictator. It's about to become your servant, a sacred tool for ministry, mission, and momentum. Your account will preach louder than any sermon you've ever heard. That shift you've prayed for, it's here. And it's not temporary. You're not entering a blessing you have to fight to keep. You're entering a flow that was custom built for your calling. God is using finances not just to elevate you, but to establish you. To say, this one is mine. No more scarcity thinking. No more financial fear hijacking your purpose. You're about to live in the overflow, not because you chased riches, but because you chased Him, and He brings everything with Him. And let me tell you something deeper. God is not just restoring what was taken, He's multiplying it. Every time someone walked away, every door that slammed, every dollar that vanished, He saw it. He kept track, and He made a promise. I will restore. I will repay. I will multiply. The enemy tried to make a profit off your pain, but God's about to flip the books. He's bringing increase where there was once insult, clarity where there was once confusion. He's taking everything the enemy meant to destroy you and turning it into construction material for your future. So don't think you're just stepping into compensation. You're stepping into overflow. This isn't reimbursement. It's resurrection. God is not only paying back what was lost, He's making it better than it was. Better relationships, bigger opportunities, clearer vision. The setbacks weren't random, they were staging grounds. Every loss was a setup, and now that the tables have turned, you're not just getting your stuff back, you're getting an upgrade. You're walking into a divine abundance that doesn't expire. You've been through too much for this to be a coincidence. All those silent nights where you cried behind closed doors, the times you had to be strong for others while you were falling apart yourself, none of that went unnoticed. Heaven saw it. God watched as you kept giving, kept building, kept hoping even when no one was clapping. While others took breaks, you kept going. While they questioned you, you stayed the course. You pushed through the exhaustion, through the invisibility, and you wondered if your time would ever come. Now God is saying, that invisible season is over. He's bringing you out of hiding, not for applause, but for assignment. The reason it took so long isn't because you were forgotten. It's because He was planting you deep. Roots take time. Real fruit doesn't grow overnight. It's cultivated. You had to grow beneath the surface so you wouldn't collapse under the weight of the blessing above. Now the seed that broke in the soil is rising in the sun. And not just rising, it's flourishing. You're not just being seen now, you're being recognized. Opportunities you used to chase are now being drawn to you, not because you've suddenly become more worthy, but because the time is right. Divine time. God's time. This is more than promotion. It's activation. The world is about to witness a shift in you so undeniable it can't be ignored. Not for ego, not for fame, but so God can use your story as proof that faithfulness still matters. That staying hidden wasn't failure, it was formation. Now the doors are swinging open. Business opportunities, clients, investors, platforms. You're not just catching up, you're overtaking. Your name is being mentioned in spaces you've never even walked through. And here's the wild part. You don't have to knock anymore. The door knows your name. The keys are being handed to you. God is doing what no networking strategy ever could. He's opening the way Himself, from invisible to undeniable, from background to front and center. And this shift, it's permanent, because this isn't just about your wallet. It's about your territory. God isn't just increasing your income. He's expanding your impact. Ownership is the next chapter. Property, real estate, land, generational legacy. What you once watched others possess, He's now putting in your hands. You've leased long enough, dreamed long enough. It's time to hold the keys, time to walk the land. What once seemed impossible is becoming your new normal. You won't just live in houses, you'll build them. Not just for you, but for those who come after you. You're not just moving into a new house, you're stepping into a new realm of dominion. This isn't about comfort, it's about calling. God didn't bring you this far to keep you renting in life. He brought you here to reign. This divine contract you've been handed isn't just for finances. It includes land, legacy, and limitless living. The things your ancestors only dreamed of, you're about to walk in. And it's not by accident, it's by divine design. You're the one chosen to change the direction of your family's future. Your children, your children's children, will walk the grounds you once thought were out of reach. They'll build on the foundations you're laying right now. You're not just purchasing property, you're purchasing permanence. This isn't about square footage, it's about spiritual territory. You're not buying into a neighborhood, you're breaking into destiny. The very places you once walked past and whispered, maybe one day, are now the places where God is planting your name in ink, deeds, titles, legacy. It's not coming, it's happening. And you're not walking into this next season alone. Heaven has assigned backup, not just support, but supernatural investors. Angels have been dispatched to surround your ideas, to speed up your assignments, to remove every delay that once slowed you down. What you're stepping into now isn't ordinary. It's orchestrated. This isn't you grinding for scraps. This is heaven flowing resources toward you because you carry something valuable. You're not just approved, you're appointed. God funds what He favors. And because you are chosen, heaven's resources are now aligning with your purpose. But this goes beyond cash flow. You're being supported by angelic intelligence, divine strategy, and spiritual allies you never knew you had. God isn't just dropping money in your account, He's dropping guidance in your spirit. The help coming your way isn't just human, it's heavenly. Watch what happens when strangers say, "I don't know why, but I need to help you." That's not random, that's divine alignment. You're not standing alone in boardrooms anymore. You're not outnumbered on the battlefield. You've got heavenly forces backing your every move. And those ideas you buried in notebooks, the visions you thought were too big, too risky, too far-fetched, get ready, because God is breathing life into them now. The plans you sketched in the dark, they're about to be fully funded in the light, not because you begged for help, but because your obedience triggered a release. You're not pleading for opportunity anymore. You are the opportunity. You're not asking to be funded. You are becoming the funding. You were never meant to just survive. You were designed to build, to spark movements, to fund visions, to leave fingerprints of heaven on earth through your obedience and your overflow. God is ushering you into a time where entrepreneurship won't feel like risk. It'll feel like responsibility. You're stepping into ownership of ideas, brands, intellectual property, scalable income, and multiple revenue streams. What used to intimidate you now excites you, because you're not walking in blind, you're walking in backed. Heaven isn't just handing you money, it's handing you a mission. This isn't reckless wealth, it's righteous impact. Your purpose now has a budget, and heaven just approved it. God is assigning creative blueprints, business downloads, financial collaborators, and divine strategy to match your vision. What others had to work decades for, you'll build in months. Not because you're better, but because you're aligned. God isn't rewarding hustle, He's responding to surrender. And here's what makes this sacred. Your movements will carry weight. No more guessing. No more trial and error that drains your soul. Every step will feel covered. Every plan will have substance. What once confused you will now be clear. You'll go from wandering to governing, from running in circles to building in straight lines. God is giving you structural wisdom. You won't just dream it, you'll develop it. You'll scale it. You'll leave systems in place that outlive you. This is about more than money. It's about multiplication, about using wealth as a weapon to break chains, lift others, and restore what's been broken. God is raising you up to be a spiritual strategist, someone who can sit in ministry, marketplace, and media, fully present, fully equipped, fully activated. You won't just be successful, you'll be significant. People will look at your life and see blueprints, not just blessings. They'll ask how you built what you built, and your answer will be simple. God was the architect. And when the overflow hits, don't be surprised when it comes fast. You've been faithful in the shadows for years. You've served, sacrificed, and sown without recognition. And now God is collapsing time. What would have taken 10 years will happen in 10 weeks. What others are still drafting, you'll be launching. It won't be luck, it'll be divine momentum. That delay you hated, it wasn't punishment. It was preparation for acceleration. And now it's go time. Heaven is fast-tracking your name, your brand, your mission, and your inheritance. You're not just watching a miracle, you are becoming one. The very thing you spent years praying for, fasting for, crying over in secret, it's now rising from within you. You thought help was coming from the outside, but God has been cultivating the answer inside you all along. You are the breakthrough, the shift, the generational turning point. Everything you've endured, the heartbreaks, the betrayals, the detours, it wasn't random. It was divine formation. God was shaping your spirit for impact. Now you're not just stepping into blessings, you're carrying the weight of them with maturity. You carry wisdom now, depth, discernment. You no longer need applause to feel worthy, and that alone makes you powerful beyond measure. The old version of you would have settled. The current you builds. There's something different in your walk now. Something steady, focused, strategic. You don't crave validation, you crave victory. And not just for yourself, but for every person who's been stuck in the cycles you came to break. God didn't just choose you for success. He chose you for legacy, to change the narrative for your bloodline. That's why the battles were so intense. The enemy knew who you were even before you did. That's why it felt like everything was always working against you. But here's the thing. It's too late now. You've awakened. You're no longer trying to survive. You're stepping into dominion. Your language is changing. No more, I'm just trying to get through. Now it's, I'm the solution. I'm the breakthrough. I carry the light. Your very presence disrupts darkness. Doors will open just because you walk in. Atmospheres will shift when you speak. You're not average. You're anointed. And that anointing isn't just for church. It's for culture, for business, for families, for nations. You've been strategically placed by God to be an answer in a world full of noise. That whisper you've been hearing in your soul, it's not doubt, it's destiny. And now, your decisions carry weight. Your yes has the power to shift rooms, to unlock blueprints, to release breakthrough for others. This next move, it's not just about you. It's about what God is setting in motion through you. Don't downplay it. Don't shrink back into the version of you that needed permission to be great. This is your divine rollout. This is what it looks like when heaven endorses your voice, your vision, your value. Every battle you faced was certification. God has tested your endurance, trained your discernment, and deepened your character. You're not just ready for the blessing. You're finally able to sustain it. Let the world run ahead. You're right on God's time. And now that the release is here, nothing and no one can block what's already been written. You're not guessing anymore. You're being guided. This isn't about making safe little moves that keep you comfortable. This is about divine instruction, precision. Heaven is choreographing your next step, and it's not just progress, it's prophecy. Every decision you make now carries the weight of generations. That contract you're about to sign, that meeting you're about to walk into, that door you're preparing to step through, none of it is random. It's all a part of a bigger setup, and God is downloading clarity for the path ahead. But don't rush. Don't move just because you feel pressure. Move from presence. There's a green light coming, and when it hits, you'll know. And when it does, you move boldly, not because you figured it all out, but because God is with you. There's no more space for fear-based decisions. No more shrinking to fit into rooms you've outgrown. This next step, it carries power, impact, and momentum that will echo into your family line long after you're gone. You're not just making moves, you're making prophecy happen. And what makes this so sacred is that even the delays weren't wasted. Every pause, every not yet, every moment where doors stayed shut while others ran ahead, it was training. God wasn't punishing you, He was preparing you. The delay wasn't rejection, it was refinement. While you waited, heaven was working. While the world clapped for others, God was anchoring your spirit. He wasn't keeping something from you, He was saving something for you. And now that you're aligned, that release will come with weight and authority. The version of you that's emerging now, it's sharper, wiser, rooted. This you doesn't panic when things shift. You discern. You don't chase noise. You follow peace. You don't beg for access. You open doors. The spiritual muscle you've developed in the waiting room is your strength now. Others might look successful, but you've got something they can't buy. Spiritual stamina. You know how to endure. You know how to hear. You know how to move when God says move. And that makes you dangerous to anything that tries to stop you. Now you're not just making decisions, you're making impact. Your next yes will shift atmospheres. Your next conversation will unlock divine timing. Your next move will carry the kind of influence that breaks systems open. This isn't about playing small anymore. Heaven is partnering with you in real time. There are ideas that will change industries, innovations that will spark generations, and divine alignments that will carry global consequence. And it's not coming someday. It's already being stirred inside of you. Let's be honest. There were moments you thought you missed it. You looked around and saw others thriving while you felt stuck in neutral, barely holding it together. You assumed the silence meant you were disqualified, that the opportunities that slipped through your fingers were proof that you'd failed. But now you're beginning to see the truth. Those closed doors weren't rejections. They were redirections. God wasn't ignoring your prayers. He was protecting your path. He saw what you couldn't. Fake alliances, short-term gain with long-term loss, rooms too small for your assignment. Every no was actually God whispering, "I've got better." And now, you're about to see what better really means. You'll walk into spaces where the favor is so strong, people will say, "I don't understand why this is happening for you." And you'll just smile, because you'll know. You'll know that every delay was divine, that the struggle wasn't wasted, that your time wasn't lost, it was banked. And now the release is bigger than anything you could have hustled for. You're not just entering a new season, you're stepping into fulfillment. Remember the days when survival was your only strategy? When you had to stretch hope like a thread just to make it through the week? Those days are over. That contract with struggle? Heaven tore it up. You're no longer under the agreement of lack, shame, or barely enough. You're now under a covenant of overflow, purpose, and divine identity. The pain that once defined you is now being redefined. You're not a victim. You're a vessel. You're not cursed. You're covered. The labels that life tried to stick on you are being replaced with words like favored, called, and trusted. Your story is being rewritten in real time, not by society, not by shame, but by the author of heaven himself. What once looked like failure is becoming fuel. What once felt like chaos is becoming clarity. And the old cycles, they're breaking, for good. The ceiling you kept hitting, it's shattering. The pressure that nearly crushed you, it's becoming your platform. God isn't just editing your life. He's publishing a new version, and the title is one word: victory. Your life will no longer echo struggle. It will echo strategy, grace, and supernatural provision. But here's what's different now. You're not running from pain anymore. You're walking in purpose. You're not praying out of panic. You're praying with precision. You're no longer trying to prove yourself. You're walking in the proof. The favor on your life will be so undeniable. The very people who mocked you will have no choice but to admit God is clearly with them. Your rise will be public, not because you asked for attention, but because your pain was public. And now, your victory must be too. Heaven is using your life as a demonstration, a prophetic picture of what happens when obedience meets divine timing. This isn't just about increase, it's about identity. You're not just chasing wealth anymore, you're being redefined by it. And not the shallow, empty kind of wealth that fades with status or stuff. This is kingdom wealth, holy abundance. Divine resources with a divine assignment. God isn't just making you rich, He's making you a financier of purpose, a distributor of breakthrough, a steward of miracles. You'll wear the wealth, yes, but you'll also wield it. And the impact of that is eternal. This isn't ego, it's elevation. It's not greed, it's governance. God is raising you up to shift culture, to break generational curses, to fund the dreams of others, and to build institutions that point back to Him. You'll sow into communities, build schools, finance missions, and empower visionaries. You'll write checks that change lives, not for applause, but because it's what you were born to do. You're not going to be the one waiting for help. You're going to be the help, the lender, the builder, the vessel, and you'll never have to apologize for it. You've lived long enough on the outside looking in, clapping for others, praying for their breakthroughs, quietly asking God, when will it be my turn? That turn is here. You're stepping into a new spiritual atmosphere where miracles won't be rare. They'll be regular. The supernatural will feel natural. The impossible will become your default. This isn't hype. This isn't emotion. This is the manifestation of promises that have been hovering over your life for years, just waiting for your alignment. Now that you've said yes, they're being released in rapid succession. You won't have to defend your faith anymore. Your fruit will speak. Your bank account will carry testimony. Your lifestyle will preach without a pulpit. Every dry place in your life is about to experience rain. Miracle moisture is coming. God is sending restoration to the areas you thought were too dead to revive. Your finances, your relationships, your mind, your creativity, your ministry, the places where you felt abandoned. He's showing up with resurrection power. The hands that once felt so empty are about to overflow. And here's the wild part. It's not even about you being perfect. God's not looking for flawless. He's looking for faithful. You don't have to have it all figured out. You just need to expect Him to do the impossible. And in this season, that's exactly what He's doing. Impossible is your new address. You'll wake up in places you only used to dream about. You'll walk through doors you weren't even knocking on, not because you forced your way in, but because God opened them and said, "This one's for you." There's something different about your voice, and heaven knows it. It's not just what you say, it's what you carry when you speak. For too long, your voice was silenced by shame, by fear, by comparison. You held back, played small, bit your tongue just to keep others comfortable. But not anymore. God is anointing your sound. Your words are about to move things, shift things. Your declarations are keys. Your praise is a password. Your worship, a weapon. When you speak in alignment with heaven, walls fall, doors swing open, atmospheres realign. You've spent years whispering prayers that came from a place of brokenness. Now God is inviting you to roar with confidence. You've been given authority, not just to survive storms, but to command them, to shift environments, to unlock inheritance. Every word you release in faith is an unlocking force. Speak healing, and healing will flow. Speak favor, and doors will respond. Speak abundance, and provision will locate you. This is no longer about wishing, it's about declaring. You are not powerless. Your mouth is a spiritual instrument tuned to divine frequency. This season is calling for your sound, not your silence. You're no longer shrinking to fit in rooms you were sent to transform. Your testimony is weighty. Your story carries the residue of survival, the strength of surrender, and the spark of resurrection. Every time you open your mouth, heaven leans in and hell backs off. The enemy tried to shut you up because he knew what your voice could do. But now, your silence is over. It's time to speak up, sing out, and shake systems. Your sound will unlock what your strength never could. God is using your voice to establish new realities. You'll speak things that don't exist as though they already do, and then you'll watch them appear. Rooms will shift when you walk in, but they'll transform when you open your mouth. You're not just called to speak encouragement, you're called to speak movement, to declare shifts, to release prophetic rhythm into stagnant places. So stop second-guessing. Don't wait for approval. Speak. Heaven has already backed your voice with weight and wonder. And when you do, when you finally allow yourself to sound like the person you were created to be, you'll find that things begin to move faster. Because when God gets involved, acceleration isn't just possible, it's expected. You're about to witness progress that doesn't make sense. Things you thought would take 10 years will happen in 10 weeks. The pace is shifting. The pressure you once felt isn't crushing you anymore. It's propelling you. God is collapsing time to honor the years you remained faithful when no one was watching. Every moment you waited, every tear you swallowed, every quiet yes you gave when quitting would have been easier. It's all being accounted for. God isn't just fair, He's precise. Nothing you went through was wasted. He's been keeping perfect records, and now He's pressing fast forward on your timeline. Conversations that would have taken months to schedule are happening in a single day. Connections that once felt impossible are forming overnight. What the world calls luck is actually kingdom acceleration, and you're standing right in the middle of it. So don't resist the speed just because it feels unfamiliar. This isn't chaos, it's divine momentum. You're not skipping the process. You're riding on supernatural rhythm. What looked like delay was actually setup. What felt like silence was strategy. God is redeeming the years you thought were lost. He's restoring the time, the opportunities, the resources, and He's adding interest. This isn't Him trying to catch up. It's Him catching you up to where you were always meant to be. You're not late. You're on heaven's clock now. The battles you fought, they weren't just personal, they were prophetic. Every war you survived was connected to a deeper purpose. You weren't just being attacked because of where you were. You were being attacked because of what you carry. You were chosen to break cycles, to interrupt generational patterns of scarcity, addiction, fear, silence. You weren't called to blend in with the brokenness. You were called to disrupt it. You are the interruption your bloodline prayed for and never saw, until now. That's why it's been heavy. That's why the resistance was real. You were never meant to just get by. You were built to rebuild, to plant roots where nothing was growing, to construct legacy from scratch. And yes, it's exhausting sometimes, but you're not doing it alone. God has given you tools your ancestors never had: insight, revelation, resilience, and resources. Don't resent the weight. It's proof of your assignment. You're not just carrying your dreams, you're carrying the future of everyone connected to your name. And this isn't just about income, it's about inheritance. You're not just making money, you're making history. You're not just changing your situation, you're rewriting the story for generations to come. God is making you the blueprint, the prototype, the example of what happens when heaven touches a family line. Your life is going to show people what's possible when someone says yes, even in the dark. And because of your obedience, your bloodline will never be the same again. Obedience isn't glamorous. It rarely comes with applause. It doesn't always make sense to others, or even to you, but it makes moves in the unseen. Every quiet yes, every time you turned down the shortcut, every moment you stayed when you could have run, heaven recorded it. And now, the heavens are opening wide, not just with sprinkles of blessing, but with a torrential downpour. You won't just feel the shift, you'll be soaked in it. God is pouring out provision, protection, peace, and promotion like a flood you weren't expecting but somehow knew was coming. Get your buckets ready. You'll need more than one. Because this isn't a moment, it's a movement. You're entering into a state of overflow that won't just water your own garden. It'll irrigate the fields of everyone connected to you. Your blessing is contagious. Your breakthrough is transferable. This rain is holy, and it's not temporary. It's sustained. You're about to live in blessing as a baseline. This is your new atmosphere. No more dry land. No more spiritual drought. You're rooted. You're covered. And heaven is raining on everything with your name on it. There were seasons, long ones, where no one saw you, where you poured out and heard nothing back, where you posted and got silence, where you prayed and felt the echo, where you worked your soul out and it looked like nothing was moving. But God wasn't absent. He was watching. He was refining. He was calibrating your voice, your heart, your identity. He wasn't ignoring you. He was hiding you. Because what He was doing in you needed darkness to grow. And now that you're aligned, He's ready to reveal what He planted. This is your unveiling season. What was once private refinement is becoming public manifestation. The very things you've built in silence are about to be announced with power. This isn't clout chasing, it's purpose launching. People are about to call on you. They'll seek your wisdom. Your name will show up in conversations you didn't initiate. Nations will hear your voice. Platforms will open without you even asking. God is amplifying your story, not for your ego, but for the impact it carries. You've become a vessel of proof. So don't be shocked when people stop you and say, "What happened to you?" The glow, the favor, the peace, it will be undeniable. And your only response will be this: God touched my life. You won't have to shout for attention. Your transformation will draw it. The fire you've walked through will leave a fragrance of heaven on everything you do. The oil on your life won't be subtle anymore. It will be seen, smelled, tasted, and it will awaken others. You are a living testimony now, a walking miracle, and your story is still unfolding. You thought you lost something when you gave, that somehow sacrifice meant subtraction, that surrender would always leave you with less. But in God's economy, Giving doesn't reduce, it multiplies. Every seed you planted, every offering that felt like it bled from your last drop, every time you gave when you didn't have enough for yourself, it was seen, and not just seen, celebrated. God doesn't ignore sacrifice. He stores it, and now the storehouses are being opened, not in addition, in multiplication. You gave your time, your energy, your wisdom, your heart, and for a while, it looked like none of it returned. But heaven was never on your timeline. Heaven was building something deeper, a cycle of perpetual harvest, one that can't be stopped, one where the seed you thought was gone is now returning as partnerships, promotions, divine connections, and supernatural provision. You're about to reap not just in the places you sowed, but even in places where others forgot your name. Because God didn't. What left your hands never left your future. That generosity was never a waste. It was an investment. And now the return is manifesting. Ideas, collaborations, resources, room to breathe, room to build, room to give again. You won't have to hold back anymore. You won't have to live in cautious survival. The more you release, the more God fills. Because your open hands have become His delivery system. You've proven you're not just a receiver, you're a releaser. And that makes you dangerous in the best way possible. This is where your spiritual wisdom meets real-world strategy. You're not just going to shout, you're going to scale. You're not just going to feel it, you're going to structure it. God is marrying your anointing with alignment, your vision with execution. Downloads are coming, not just dreams, but detailed plans. You'll wake up with clarity. You'll speak and systems will form. The industries you thought were above you, you're about to influence them. Because heaven isn't just giving you wealth, it's giving you infrastructure. You'll no longer operate from confusion. No more wasted energy. No more mistimed moves. God is giving you divine precision. Every decision will carry weight. Every step will be rooted in wisdom. The guessing game is over. You're stepping into a season of such clarity that even your pace will feel different. This isn't running ahead in panic. This is moving forward with kingdom accuracy. Heaven needs wealth with wisdom, and you're the one being equipped to lead it. Watch how everything begins to click, because now you're finally aligned. You've waited long enough. You've held back, questioned yourself, doubted your worth, and played small while heaven was roaring over you. Get up. Now is not the time to hesitate. Now is not the time to delay. This isn't a season to see how it goes. This is a divine summons, a holy invitation, a spiritual contract written with your name on it. God didn't speak all this just to inspire you. He spoke it to activate you. Everything you've read, everything you've felt stirring inside, it's not hype, it's heaven. You are not who you used to be. You are not the failure, the broken one, the overlooked soul scrambling to keep up. You are chosen. You are equipped. You are assigned. And now you are being sent. Not just into prosperity, but into purpose, into calling, into impact. Your voice is needed. Your vision is needed. Your hands are needed. You are a key in this moment in history. You are heaven's answer to a broken system, a cracked generation, a world on the edge. You carry the blueprint, the strategy, the fire, and now it's time to move. So don't wait for another confirmation. This is it. Don't wait for someone to validate you. God already has. Don't scroll to the next thing and miss what this is. You're standing in front of a door that only opens with faith, and once you walk through it, nothing will ever be the same. Not because of what you do, but because of who's backing you. Heaven is funding you. Angels are walking with you. Favor is going ahead of you, and your past has no power here anymore. Here's your call. Speak it. Step into it. Sow into it. Move like it's already yours, because it is. Drop a word below if your spirit is stirred. Say, I receive. Say, I'm ready. Say whatever heaven is pulling from your chest. Don't stay silent. Let your agreement with God echo through time and eternity. This isn't just another feel-good moment. This is a transaction of faith, a holy exchange. You're giving God your yes, and He's giving you everything tied to it. So go ahead, lift your eyes, square your shoulders, step forward. God is not waiting for a better version of you. He's been waiting for this one, the real one, the ready one, the rising one. Now go, say yes, and watch heaven open. Hey, before you scroll, pause, just for a second, because what you're about to hear, it's not just another message. It's a moment, a sacred moment, a divine call. You felt it, the pressure, the delay, the silence. But what if I told you that silence wasn't God ignoring you? It was God preparing you. You were never forgotten. You were being formed. And now, heaven is speaking, loud, clear, directly to you, not to inspire, but to awaken, to activate, to hand you the keys you've been praying for. This isn't hype. This isn't emotional fluff. This is your invitation to shift, to rise, to walk into the covenant written with your name on it since before time began. So breathe, listen, and when your spirit knows, don't just watch, respond, because this one is for you.